Hello, 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 good morning. It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I always say that with surprise, but it is Tuesday morning here in Tokyo, and I hope your day is starting off well. So today I wanted to touch on a topic that I get a lot, or I see a lot, and people ask me all the time, why their LinkedIn's failing. Essentially, why aren't they making any money on LinkedIn? Why aren't they getting leads off LinkedIn? What is the issue that is causing them to kind of suffer? So I want to talk about that. Hey, Jason, how are you, mate? But firstly, just as a reminder, I am, and Marius, how are you? I am looking to hire two sales guys, enrollment coaches, North America based. I'm getting some applications already, which is cool. I want to get a good pool of people to hey, Wendy, how are you? I've got to talk to you later today too, or email you at least. I want to get two enrollment coaches in that North America based to deal with North Americans, and also screening for an assistant, which is still going on as well. So lots of activity happening. So if you've got any good recommendations for salespeople or for assistants, please let me know, or let them know. Tell them to reach out to me. So basically, I just wanted to go over for those that have watched a lot, you know these, but for those that haven't been in the group long or haven't seen many of my videos, I just want to talk about the 5 killers, the 5 reasons I am seeing people over and over again not have success on LinkedIn. These are the big 5. If you've ever been to Africa, I think it's the big 5 as well, for when you see like a rhino, elephant, cheetah, blah blah blah. The main animals, they call it the big 5. Just to let you know. So, number 1, I should have a drum. I need a drum roll. The number 1 issue that underlies all the reason people are failing on LinkedIn is their lack of understanding of their ideal client avatar. It's that simple. Who is your target? Who specifically are you trying to sell to? Right? That's really important. But more important than that is understanding a little bit about their psychology, who they are, how they hang out on LinkedIn, where they hang out on LinkedIn, how they may be in their business. What is the psychology? You don't have to go too deep, but, kind of getting hey, Lionel, how are you, mate? Tim, good to see you too. Getting a basic understanding of the psychology of them, because you've got to think, someone who is 1 year into their business as opposed to someone who's 10 years running their business, do you think there's a bit of a difference in psychology? There sure is. So it's really having an understanding of your avatar and then being able to find them successfully, and more importantly, being able to filter for the most active avatar. So, and I use this example a lot because it always holds true. If you look at like dentists on LinkedIn in the United States and North America, there's 80,000 dentists, orthodontists on LinkedIn. In the US, 80,000 accounts. And you think, well, that's pretty awesome. Well, the fact is only about 900 to 1,000 have ever come on, or not have ever come on, should I say this? 900 to 1,000 come on monthly and post. That's it. So 79,000 don't even come in and post on a monthly basis, right? So if your avatar is like that, and some avatars are there's quite a variation in who's active or not. I can't remember which group it is that's the lowest, but dentist was pretty low. I mean, we're talking 0.8% of all those on LinkedIn that have accounts are coming on. Now imagine if you're chasing after just, you see, wow, I've got dentists, and you don't know how to filter, you don't know how to do advanced search, and you just go chase. It will mean that you're 99.2% of what you do, you're reaching out to people who aren't even coming on. They're not even active. It makes them less conducive to also doing business on LinkedIn, right? Does that make sense? Like, if you are going to go after people on LinkedIn, you want to stack it in your favor. You want to make sure that you are going after the players, the ones that get it, the ones that are in there using it. They don't mind getting messages. They don't mind getting into conversations, especially if you know what you're doing. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's the type of person that you need to be connecting with. So understanding your ideal client avatar, who they are, where they are, how they're going to be, located inside LinkedIn, what's the psychology, and then filtering only for the most of the active players. That's really important. The second thing that I see over and over and over again, dentists don't need to be on LinkedIn because they aren't in B2B. That's right. But a lot of people will say, oh, it's white collar and I want to sell to dentists, so I need to go into LinkedIn. So it's not a matter of whether they should be in there or not, Wendy. It's a matter of people's perceptions from outside that are saying, oh, Ty, I get it all the time. At least 5 to 10 times a month, I will get people reaching out to me saying, oh, LinkedIn makes sense because dentists are, they're white collar, it's more professional, da-da-da. Yeah, just because they're that, and when he makes a good point, if someone is a professional delivering their professional service, they tend not to be active on LinkedIn because, what's a dentist doing? They're in someone's head all day, right? And when they have a spare moment, they're not going to LinkedIn and playing around. They're going to Facebook. They're going to Instagram, right? Anyway, the second point I want to make is that this leads to the profile. The profile is a cornerstone piece of any LinkedIn funnel, of course. It's not the be and all, but it is a critical component. And what I see, not understanding your ideal client avatar, leads to the fact that the profiles don't speak to your ideal client avatar. They just don't. There's not one person that has come into my coaching that I can think of whose profile from the start was like, yep, that's great. Like, don't have to touch it. It's awesome. Right? Not one. Not one. And all those that didn't come into my profile, into my coaching, their profiles are still terrible. They don't talk to the ideal client avatar. It's all about them still. It's all about the I'm responsible for. I did this. I did that. This is what I do. In many cases, it's that horrible resume CV style, which is fine if you're looking to get a job. Give me complex. Sorry, Jason. Which is fine if you're looking to get a job. That's what a resume or CV is for. What's a website or a landing page or a funnel for? That's for getting a client. So you've got to come with that mentality that you need to layer basically a website on top of LinkedIn, and LinkedIn's simply the hosting platform. And I see that over and over and over again, that people's profiles do not focus on talking to the pain points, talking to the outcomes that you provide, your ideal client avatar. So when your avatar actually lands on you, they feel straight away, bang, this person knows me. This person understands my pain. This is someone exactly that I need to speak to. And I see that happening continuously on LinkedIn. So that's the second largest thing. Your profile must be speaking to your ideal client avatar, and it must be doing it in a way that makes them feel uncomfortable, that makes them realize, I've got to take action. Like, if I don't take action, I'm going to be stuck. Yeah. The third thing that I see that's really, really bad over and over again is just the messaging. That's where the money really is made on LinkedIn, is your outbound strategies and your messaging. And what is lacking from it is genuine interest in that person, in your avatar. A lot of people worry that, it's going to, it seems fake and scammy and deliberate, and I don't like to do the messages. Well, if you're not messaging, you're not going to make money on LinkedIn. Yes, you will get some inbound if you have those first two elements right, but believe me, the bulk, I'm talking 94, 93% of your money is going to come from your strategic outreach. So it means that you have to master your messaging, and the messaging has to be authentic. So if you're worried about being spammy or being seen as fake, that's a belief that you have, because you're not actually approaching that person with that person in mind. You're doing it for yourself. Your intention is like, I want to make money, I want to sell that person, rather than, hey, this person has a problem. I know that these type of avatars have this problem. I solve that problem. I can really change this person, transform this person's business with my service, with my product. I want to serve this person. I want to help this person. When you come with that attitude and that intention, that vibration, it's a whole different ball game. Yeah. But if you're going into like, I've got to sell. I need to reach my targets. It doesn't work, and it comes through in your messaging. Your messaging really has to have a hook. It has to use all those key principles of influence. And we talked about that, and I had a guy yesterday reach out to me about a sales role, but using unity, finding that likeness, finding that hook where it's like, hey, we're the same, we're a team, it's us against them. Obviously that's just one of the key principles of influence, but it's a great one on LinkedIn to use. So messaging fails a lot of people. It really does. A lot of people complain that, they send the message and it ends in just silence, or the people just say thanks, or the people say not now, and it just stops, and they don't know what to do. And then they all the belief system comes back that, this is spammy, this is horrible, I don't like the feeling, la 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 la, and it all fails. It all fails. So you've got to get that down properly. One of the other elements that I see is content. Now, I on LinkedIn, I used to do probably 6 to 7, 8 updates a day, and put the content out there. And yeah, it got results, and if you have time for it, that's fine. But I think it doesn't need to be at that level unless you're producing decent stuff. I think where content is lacking is that it's not speaking again to the avatars. And there's ways to ensure that the content that you're putting out there is resonating with your audience. There's a whole host of tools where you can see, previous responses to certain content, and you can model your content on that. But also automating that process where possible. Nothing's worse than having to produce stuff, schedule it, put it out there. But content to stay top of mind with active players on LinkedIn, and that's a really important part, that so many people will make these connections and then they do nothing to curate them, they do nothing to nurture them. They just say, yep, thanks, great, connect, and they're collectors, right? That's what they are, they're collectors. And I meet a lot of people that say, well, I've got 5,000 connections, I've got 6,000 connections. Well, how much money did you make from that? How much impact did you have on those 6,000 people? How many people of them did you speak, how many of them did you speak to this month about your service and offer? And it comes down to like, 1 or 2 or 3. But I've got 6,000 connections. It's not going to get you anywhere. Having the connections, it's kind of useless if you're not doing anything with it. Now, having a large connection rate can help with social proof, which is cool, because when someone sees that, hey, this person's got a decent following, it does add value, especially if you're under the 500 connections. Your mission really is to get that 500 plus badge, because unless people go and check your followers and stuff, over 500 plus, you could have 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, they won't know, again, if you hide the followers, that is. But when it's someone's under 500, it's like, wow, is this person really what they say they are? I mean, why isn't anyone in their network? Why aren't they connected? And it goes with the content as well. If you aren't posting anything, if you haven't put any content, if you're not liking, if you're not sharing stuff, it just adds a question to, like, is this person a serious player on LinkedIn? Do I want to be connected to them? Do I want to get into a conversation with them? Looking at a pattern of their content that they share, are they ahead of the game? Are they kind of I don't want to say a thought leader or anything, because that sounds a bit, but, are they someone who is on the edge of their industry, at the forefront, someone who is kind of leading that, keeping and providing content, are they a producer? So that's important, on the content aspect. And then the last thing that I see that is failing people on LinkedIn is consistency. Is consistency of execution. I talk about this all the time. Always be prospecting. ABP. Always be prospecting. And I touched on this a little bit deeper on another live maybe 2-3 days ago, or last week, I don't know, it just runs into each other. But I talk about being consistent on LinkedIn, programming it into your day, where you will be in LinkedIn, you will be prospecting, you will be talking to your ideal client avatars, and you'll be taking a percentage of them off into your discovery calls, walkthroughs, breakthrough calls, sales pitch, presentation, webinar, whatever it is. But it's that consistency of activity. And the interesting thing about it is, and it breaks that feast-famine cycle that I spoke about, right? It breaks that feast-famine cycle, because think of this. When you're in that famine, when you've done some work for a client, that's dried up, that work's finished, and you've got to go into the market and get new clients, what are you feeling? Are you feeling happy about it? Are you feeling excited? No, you're feeling desperate. You're feeling like, holy moly, where is the next client coming from? Right? And that's a sucky feeling. And what does that produce? It produces desperation. And what does desperation produce? Well, it produces crappy clients. It means you take on clients that you shouldn't have really taken on. It means you accept crap from people that you really shouldn't be accepting crap from. But it's really interesting when you are always prospecting, that feeling of desperation vanishes, because there's that momentum. And if you are speaking to people every single day in your allocated time block to LinkedIn, over a month, you've probably come up with 200, 250 conversations. I reckon there's a few percentage that you've taken off, right? The beauty of that is that you will get that flow of constant leads, and you get to choose who you work with. And if you're busy, you should always be prospecting, because it's when you're busy that your energy level is up, your no arsehole filter is up. Like, you just don't want to deal with a-holes, right? You're just like sick of it. So when you're prospecting from that place where you're like, okay, I only want to deal with clients who really want my help, who have a problem I know I can solve, but they've got to also meet my standards. They've got to be someone who respects me, and it's going to be fun to work with. Now, when you're prospecting under that pressure of you're really evaluating them as much as they are evaluating you, it's a whole different ball game. So this is why so many people miss the opportunity when you have got lots of business, when you are busy, when you don't have that sense of where the next client is coming from and you're worried about the money. That's when you should be prospecting, because everything about that moment, the energy is right. You're positive. You've got that momentum. You're not going to just accept rubbish deals or rubbish conditions from clients. You're just not. So, guys, bottle that. When you are in that state, when you are in that state of abundance, that is the best time to be prospecting. It just is. Everything works that way. When you're doing it and you're in that state of abundance, man, it is so powerful. It really is so powerful. As opposed to like, oh, God, I gotta make a call. Where's the next client coming from? Like, geez, I hope this next client signs. I hope this next client signs. It's, how bad is that? And then, of course, they don't sign. And then it leads to, oh, God, the next one better sign. And then they don't sign. And then you quickly spiral down into this mess. And unless you have mindset routines and you do activities to keep your mindset right, you are going to be in a pit of hell. You know it. You've all been there. I'm sure I've been there. And the reason I got there was in my good times, I just took the accelerator off and yeah, it's cool. But that's not how business works. Always be prospecting. Be consistent every day with your intentional outreach. Be consistent with your activity. And it should always be about getting a client. Right? Even if you can't take them on, it's fine. Maybe you go at a higher price point. You push that envelope. You then say, okay, well, now I'm that busy, I can afford to, instead of charging what you're charging, add 30%. Add 30%. Go for it. If you've got the confidence and you're delivering, why not? Maybe you've been undercharging. A perfect time to test. It's a perfect time to test, guys, when you are in that state of abundance. So that's my the big five. Your lack of ideal client avatar understanding, your lack of a profile that speaks to them, your messaging, again, that just misses the point, is not coming from a place of authenticity, is not coming from a place of authority and genuine interest in that person. A lack of content that isn't talking, that isn't nurturing those that have connected and maybe weren't in that buying phase. And then, as I just mentioned, the last of the big five is the lack of consistency. A lack of consistency, particularly in your prospecting. So, they're the big five that I see over and over and over again. If you are suffering from that, and you're just like, wow, how do I fix that? And you've tried before, it's just not working, reach out to me. This is what I do in my coaching. I fix those big five. We eliminate them forever. And I show you exactly how to keep them at bay and multiple strategies to ensure that you can get in there and start speaking to potential clients on a daily basis. And it really comes down to your mindset, because that's what entrepreneurship and success really comes down to. 90% is mindset. It really is. 10% is skill. You can learn these stuff, but 90% is just having that support to get in there and do it. So I've got times this week that I've opened up. So if you are wanting to crack the code on LinkedIn, you are sick and tired of being sick and tired on LinkedIn, you see your clients there, they're active, and you're just not getting a piece of it. You're losing out to your competition. They're grabbing them while you sit there, do nothing. Reach out to me. We can talk about it, and we can see. We'll get you on a call, and on the call, we'll find out what's working and what's not working, and where you want to go with LinkedIn. And if I can help you, I will tell you so. I will only offer people a position in my coaching if I can help. It's as simple as that. If I can't help you, I'm going to steer you to another resource. And, you can see yesterday, one of the guys I did a call with, Johnny, he posted exactly that. I only want to ensure that when someone comes in, I can help them. That's it. And then it's on to you, though, to be committed to learning, to be committed to showing up. Because my program, it's not for dabblers. There's a lot of learning. There's videos, worksheets, there's action steps, there's intentional outcomes every week. There are Q&As that go for multiple hours. It is not for dabblers. It is not for dabblers. Anyway, that's it. I'm trying Ecamm again because BeLive is stuffing up on me, so that's why we've got the Forbes, I feel like a weatherman, and the Selling Made Social up here. Jesus, so hard. I don't know how weather people do it. Yeah, so I'm on Ecamm at the moment, which I have to have my phone so I can see. Hey, Steve, how are you, mate? Yeah, so trying on Ecamm, we'll see how that goes. BeLive's just been really... If anyone's been using BeLive recently and had the same issues, let me know. It's just been cutting out. It's just been cutting out. So, not sure why. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I've got some students' homework to review and calls to do, and got a lot to do. Also, if you didn't know, one of my other businesses, we're launching a new tea shop. A tea shop, but it's really funky. It's for Tokyo, downtown Tokyo, and it is like it's very cutesy, pinks, and these tea recipes and stuff. We have this guy who is this freaking genius, but it's more like the tea with the whipped creams and all. It's really, really cool. So I think it's going to be an awesome addition to the businesses that we have, because in this building that I live in, that I own, it's 7 floors, and I have the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 7th floor for my businesses, and the 1st floor we always rent it out to someone else, but now we're going to put our tea shop there, but it's this funky, cool pinks, really Japanesey kind of manga. We've got a manga cafe next door to us as well, like a manga shop, anime shop. So we're going to get some really nice inflow. We have our wedding customers that come in. We've got a beauty salon, nail salon. We have an aesthetic salon on the 6th floor as well. It's not ours, but it's rented there. So finally we decided, let's do something. We were trying to find, what can we do with the 1st floor? What can we do? And we manifested. We didn't know what to do with it, and now we found it. And the old tenants, they failed. They had a handball cafe. I mean, a year in business, no rubbish. It was going to fail. It was just like, God, a sports bar for handballers. I mean, yeah, you can imagine. Anyway, they're gone. And hopefully we'll have everything up and running by the end of September, which is really exciting, especially because they're going to have a soft cream machine down there, which is maybe not good for me, and at the same token, quite good for me. So anyway, I'm excited about that. That's kind of coming along, so really, really cool. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks very much for watching. And guys, if you have any salespeople or any assistants that I should know about, please tell them about me. Tell them to reach out to me. I've got 3 hiring roles right now, and I'm really excited about it because it's going to really kick the business into its 2nd phase of growth, and just awesome. So, all right. I'm out of here. How do I stop this? I can't remember how to stop this one. There we go. Finish. Alrighty. See you later, guys. Bye.